without any sound. I almost said sand. It's sound. Sound.
And that's just one world. If you want to create 5 or 6 worlds, you have to times that by 4. So this is where the idea of chunks come in. Chunks are made of 16 by 16.
No sound.
The first step is terrain shaping. This is the basic stuff like the stone.
And also, I just put on that video because why not?
The oceans. Third step that Minecraft uses is surface generation. This includes the biome, dirt and grass, snow, whatever block is on top.
Oh wait, it's normal mode. It's normal mode.
And all these items are done in steps to make up your chunks. Now the bit we're going to focus on in this video is the water, terrain shaping and the surface. Features we're going to add in the next few videos. Now we've gone through a bit of theory on how Minecraft worlds are generated. We're going to try and generate our Minecraft world in Roblox Studio in this episode 1 of our devlog series. Now for the more experienced people that have seen this before, we're not just using Perlin noise for this. I'm going to go through it step by step and you'll see. So the first step was to generate a block. And this block at the moment we're just going to be generating stone. And there's no texture on it just yet. It's just going to be a plain grey block. And I programmed it so it lined up with the base plate lines. And it's a 10 by 10 by 10 block. Now this fits the character perfectly as if it would in Minecraft, where in Minecraft the dimensions are 1 by 1 by 1. This block is about 10 by 10 by 10. The next thing I did was use nested loops to create our first chunk. And we start at the 0 coordinate and we create our chunk. And it is basically just one big block. A surface that we can walk around. Now this is useful, but it's not really any terrain. I mean, it is useless really. And as you can see, each chunk has its own blocks. You can pull them out, and as you can see, I'm pulling them out and putting them on the floor. These blocks will all be textured at the end of the series. So now we're going to add a little bit of randomness to it. We're going to add what Minecraft and Mojang call random noise. And random noise is a bit like your TV stand. It's just random. It's either a block or it's air. And this was the result of that all the way up to level 384. And this is our first kind of test on random generation. Obviously, it's not our terrain that we want, but it is a start. It's kind of the basics of what we're doing here, randomly selecting and generating blocks based on its position. The next thing we did was add a surface level, and this surface level I set to about 100. And as you can see, it dramatically reduced the size of the chunk area in the Y direction. It's definitely not as tall anymore. And if any block is above that surface area, we're just going to have it as air. So now we have our surface level, and if you actually had a surface, you could run with a surface level. But now we've got this surface level, what we want to do is offset the surface level so that we have some sort of wavy hill zone. Now the simplest way to create hills is using a simple sine curve. And as you can see, the sine curve goes on infinitely over time, but we can use the position instead of time in the one-dimensional x-axis to almost create our rolling hill. So once we use the sine curve, you can see that we have some sort of hill generation. And it looks awful right now. I mean, this is just crap. It will get there, I promise. Just wait to the end. Now there is one thing that I notice about this model. It is that all of the blocks that are meant to be on the same height are on different heights. There is a kind of half a block, quarter of a block. They're not kind of locking onto the grid. And this was because I was setting the position of the block to the value I was getting from the sine curve. And this meant it was going in any kind of position that it wanted to. So to fix this issue, I just made it so that it will only spawn the block if the sine value is less than the surface level. And this made it so every block was snapped to the grid correctly. Now at this point, I just played around with the amplitude and the frequency of the sine curve. As you can see, you get some decent results. And then I tried to create multiple chunks in multiple areas, and that failed miserably. But then I fixed it and got this really cool sine curve kind of effect. And after increasing the amplitude and lowering the frequency a little bit, I got this really nice sine curve. And it almost looks like we're going over some hills. But as you can see, this is way too repetitive. We can't have this as our cracking terrain. It would look crap on it. So the next step in this is to try and make it two-dimensional. This means having the Z value also affect the position of the surface. And I'll first try and create this awful looking but kind of cool block chunk wave. I mean, I don't even know what happened here. I just got the maps completely wrong. But after playing around with it, I did get this really nice kind of hill simulation. Playing around with the frequency and amplitude did get me some nicer results. As you can see, there's a larger hills and kind of wider radius hills. And this is definitely better than our basic sine wave that we had earlier. I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of add some water to it to see what it would look like with some water. Remember, the water is step 2 of the terrain generation system. And as you can see, this is how it turned out. It looks nice, but as you can see, it's still very, very repetitive. We don't want to have the same hill in every chunk. I also then tried to add some shading to the water, and it looks like I added some sort of chemical virus to the water. Then I did get it right afterwards, and it added this nice blue shading. If the water's deeper, you get a nice darker blue. really working on the water right now. We're going to work on the terrain. So how do we get it from having this repetitive 3D world to randomly generated terrain? Well, we use something called Perlin noise. Perlin noise is just an extension off of the math.random function, where it picks random intervals and draws lines between each interval, and those smooth lines determine the height of our new terrain. As you can see by these graphs here, you can see what Perlin noise can create in a grayscale image, and how we're going to use this to create terrain. So after adding our Perlin noise into our program, you can see that it creates a lot more randomized terrain. This couple chunks here has a big mountain and valleys as well, whereas in this example we have a super area with almost like it would be a plains biome. This is created with different parameters in our noise function. As you can see, increasing the amplitude here has increased the size of the hill, and on this example the seed is the same as the previous clip, which means it's going to be the same sort of generating noise as before. Now this creates our random terrain, but it also, after about 15 minutes, does get a bit repetitive. I mean, if you were infinitely going through a world that had the same sort of hills and bumps every 1,000 blocks, it would start to get a bit boring. Now Minecraft actually avoid this by using something called multi-noise. And what multi-noise does is it allows you to combine various noise functions together to create more randomly generated terrain. It's just another way of avoiding repetitiveness and giving it more randomness. So in today's devlog, we're going to create the 3 things that Minecraft used to create random terrain using multi-noise. So there's 3 different noise generations that Minecraft uses to create its terrain. The first one is continentalness, the second one is erosion, and the third one is peaks and valleys. Now all 3 of these have their separate noise functions using Perlin noise, and they all create different maps that will be used to generate Minecraft terrain. And at the end of the process, they combine the values of each noise function together to create final height, a final surface height. Now another thing that's clever that Minecraft do, that we're going to try and attempt in this Roblox Studio devlog, is they use something called spline points. Now spline points just define what type the terrain should be at what particular Perlin noise value. So on the screen here I'm showing you the 3 different graphs that define the height of the terrain based on the Perlin noise value. You've got all 3: erosion, continentalness and peaks and valleys. And these 3 graphs are the actual ones that I used in the devlog. Now in terms of programming something like this, you're going to have to use a piecewise function, which allows you to have different functions of x for different values that come out of the Perlin noise. So as you can see, this example links up to this graph, and this is the continentalness noise, and this is what the program produces on that spline graph. And then if you change around the values of the spline on the spline graph, you can see that we have very, very different results, and it's a bit more dramatic in this one because the spline graph has a function in the piecewise function that has a very high gradient, and it allows you to create these dramatic mountain ranges that you'll see at the end of the video when we show off our final terrain. Now the examples I just showed you were just the continental noise. So now we're going to combine the erosion and the peaks and valleys noise and get an average height of what the terrain surface should be. And as you can see by this bit, we get some really nice random terrain. You get some really dramatic valleys and mountains, but even then you can get some really, really nice plain area which gives people space to build on. You can also see if we add water to this, you get a random and really nice terrain. And this is how Minecraft creates their terrain. And this is just for step 1, the terrain shaper. Minecraft also adds something on called 3D noise, and they add that on the top to give some extra drama to their worlds and creates that extra randomness and excitement for exploration. But that's going to have to wait till episode 2. However, as you can see by this terrain, you can make completely random terrain, get nice big mountains, and this is how we're going to start making biomes. Now for caves and cave systems in this Minecraft devlog, it also uses the 2-dimensional Perlin noise, and there's 2 types of caves that Minecraft uses. Now they call them cheese caves and spaghetti caves. Cheese caves uses the white part of Perlin noise by this grayscale image to create caves. And as you see by this bit, I used the cheese caves to create these caves. But Minecraft also add on something called spaghetti caves, and it uses the grayer part of this image to map out some thinner caves, like the ones you'd be seeing in older versions of Minecraft. Now obviously the Minecraft terrain generation system is going to be a lot more advanced than mine, plus for Roblox Studio. However, this devlog just wanted to give you an insight on how you can create your own Minecraft generation system and create these really, really, really cool random terrain generations with a bit more drama than the usual up and down Perlin noise. That's going to be all for episode 1 of today's devlog. If you want to see me continue this series, you need to like this video because I'll make a character in the next episode and also continue with the terrain generation with stuff like the surfacing, the water, the oceans, and the 3D noise to give some extra drama to the terrain. But the comment of the day from this Roblox Studio dev:
every single Roblox player, new or old, wants one thing: Robux. And what's the best way to get Robux? To get a game on the front page. But getting the game on the front page is no easy task. So in this video, I'm gonna try to get my subscribers' game from 0 players to the front page. And before I can tell you the full story, let me give you a little bit of context for just 30 seconds. So it was a regular Friday, and I just got home from school, and I was going through my emails, and I see a random email from somebody named Martin. And after briefly going instantly knew he wanted me to help him with his Roblox game. And I'm not gonna lie, I get tons of messages from people every single day asking for help, so I usually have to say no. But after I went through his account and I saw he had a few other successful games and his email was really well written, I thought I'd give him a chance, so I added him on Discord. And his game is called Wheel Drawing Hobby. It looks like the point of the game is to draw the wheel on your car and then go over obstacle courses. I've seen the same game idea before on an iOS game called Scribble Rider. I'm actually really impressed Martin thought to bring an iOS game to a Roblox game. A lot of the front page games actually do this, and it's kind of like a hidden method that a lot of developers use to think of good game ideas. The monetization for his game is actually pretty good. Whenever you make a hobby, it's really important to have a skip stage button, because that's the way you make most of your money. Another thing the game does really good is every single time you run out of fuel for your drawing, it prompts the Game Pass for you to buy 2x drawing power. Another big thing I'm noticing is that every single time I complete a stage, I have to redraw the wheel I want for my car, which is super annoying. And I think this might be the main reason why the game isn't doing as good as it could. But there are also a few other things I would do to make this game better. One thing I would do is just change it from text at the top to this big green bar, like all these front page hobbies have this lucky block on the far right, and it shows you with this big green bar how far along you are in the game. And for the UIs on the right, they take up a lot of the screen for not really helping you much at all. So what I would do is just make them so you can easily close them or make them smaller so they aren't as annoying for the player. Also, every single stage is literally gray and sand, which is super boring. You can spice it up and make every single stage a different color of the rainbow. And actually, I've just noticed these buttons at the bottom that looks like a rocket ship and a trampoline. When I press on the rocket ship, it looks like I'm getting rocket fuel and I speed up super quick. But then when I press the trampoline, it looks like it buoys the car up quite a bit, and it's kind of like a trampoline or like low gravity for the car. These are actually great ideas, but I would definitely do something so the player knows it's part of the drawing system, and then they can press on it to make their car better. Then another thing I would add is a player tracker on the top of your screen, showing you how far along the people on your server are. This is what Tower of Hell did, and it made the game so much more fun and interesting because you could meet your friends and you could also kind of pretty good visual effects and good music in the back. So in that regard, Martin did a great job designing this game. So now I'm going to go into studio myself and try to design the UI for Martin, so then he has an exact idea of how I'm thinking it should be. And I'm done. Let's go through some stuff that I added. You'll see at the bottom how I added this little arrow so you can easily open and close this drawing frame, and how now when you're playing the game, you can kind of see the full screen and the UI is way less cluttered. But then I also added the 3 little add-ons above this UI with little icons saying 1, so players know they can press on it. Then when I was making the UI, I thought of the idea of doing these every few minutes. You get a free reward for just playing the game, and then you get a free rocket ship or trampoline boost if you play the game for like 3 minutes and then 6 minutes and then 9 minutes, etc. And this will make people want to play the game for even longer, because the longer they play, the better boost they'll get. And this will actually make the boosts even more valuable, because now if you play the game for a long period of time, you'll get a lot of boosts. And right now, you just get a free boost every 30 seconds, which doesn't make them that valuable or that much fun. And then the final thing I would do to make the icon better is to actually make it so the wheel and the icon is actually super funky. And right now, it's like you just try to draw a circle, but the full point of the game is you can draw the wheel however you want. Then the other thing I would do is make the base plate green instead of gray, because green and blue tend to have a higher click-through rate on YouTube thumbnails and Roblox icons, so it's always a good idea to try to have blue and green in your icons. So on April 11th, I told Martin everything I just told you guys, and I gave him a detailed list of exactly everything I would do to make this game better. If you want to pause and read everything I said to him word for word, feel free. And I also told Martin that I'd give him 15,000 Robux if we did these changes, just because I know this is a lot of changes, and he's probably not going to have a lot of fun doing it. Then a few weeks later, I finally get a DM back from Martin telling me that he actually did the changes. And I was super surprised on what he did. The UI looked phenomenal, and the gameplay works perfectly with all my new changes.
What?
He didn't do some of the changes, but he
This
did
happened
most of them,
when I
so I'm
was
so happy. Literally,
like
the day
playing
after,
super
it
hard
had
mode.
2 times more visits than it usually gets, and it was
Why is
averaging
it
100
happening
players per minute,
now?
which is way more than he usually gets. So these changes were quickly working on the numbers, and at this point, I knew the game was going to do pretty good. And I woke up a few days later and opened my phone, and I saw this game with 2.1 thousand players, and I was super stoked. And I just want to say that I hadn't given him any Robux, and he didn't spend a single Robux on marketing the game at all. This is all from just making the game better and changing that icon. And here are the stats of the game. On the 24th is when he did the changes, and you can see every single day the player count going higher and higher and higher, and now it's all the way up to 2,100 players. And also, if I were to guess, I'm gonna guess this game is making between 20 to 40,000 Robux every single day. If this video gets 1,000 likes, I'm gonna do a full series where I play your guys' games, and then give you guys feedback and get it to the front page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Here to help you find the one with a rear view camera. Auto Trader, Britain's biggest matchmaker.
he was swag walking.
So it's been a little over a year since my last update on the game, and a lot has changed within that time. We finished the final few victory. In my most recent video, I took the original Super Mario Bros. Game and turned it into a new 3D version in honor of the game's 35th anniversary, and people seem to really like it. I think what made it so special is that for the first time I meet
Actually, nah.